Welcome back to Hey Kentucky. We are here joined with, I would say, probably now one of the most famous women in Kentucky, Katina Powell. Katina, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me.
We talked about a year and a half ago, and that was when the story had come out. We still didn't know what was going to happen. Tell me, how's your life changed in the last year and a half? What is it like for you sort of on a daily basis?
I have good days. I have bad days. I have days where I'm very nervous. I'm somewhat scared to go outside. And some days I just don't even think about it and I go on with my daily life.
Do you, when you say you're scared, do you fear for your health or for your safety or your health?
Yeah, at times I do.
Why? Like, how so?
Well, I mean, you get so many threats. You know, every time something's posted, every interview that is done, there's a million threats coming to you. So, you know, you never know what people are going to do. So I just have to.
Have any of them, like, have you taken any of them seriously? Have any of them come close to like a real incident?
Well, when you get people that live in the same neighborhoods and people that are riding past trying to get your address and give it to other people, it becomes a problem.
Have you ever had anybody come up to you and confront you?
I've been in a few stores where they've said, "Get out of our store."
Really?
Yeah.
The folks that were your friends or people you knew before this, have they been positive to you? Has it ruined any relationships you've had?
Yes, it's ruined a lot of relationships. My trust issue was already low, and it's even lower now because I don't trust people. I've lost a lot of respect, family, friends. I've lost a lot.
I would imagine that's the case. Does there any part of you that looks back at it and regrets doing it?
No, I have no regrets.
About coming forward?
No, I have no regrets.
I get people who ask me all the time, why does she stay in Louisville? Is there any part of you that says, you know what, I could go somewhere else and nobody would know who I was?
Well,
is there any part of you that's thought of doing that?
Yeah, of course. I've been to California. I've been to a few places and nobody has known. They've known about the story, but they don't know who I am per se, so I can just walk freely. But yeah, I was thinking about going to the country.
Going to the country?
Yeah.
Being like a little Green Acres situation. But how come you haven't?
Because why should I run? I started it. I have to finish it.
What do you consider finishing it?
Well, me running wouldn't be finishing it. It would just be me leaving the situation. You know, I've started this book. I've started the story, so I have to stick by it. Plus, I have attorneys that I have to stay in contact with. I have cases that are still not done, so I have to stay and finish what I started.
Did you breathe a sigh of relief when it came out that they were not going to charge anybody involved? Were you worried about that at any point?
Yes. I mean, it was a big sigh of relief. I dropped to my knees and thank God, you know, because I really thought that I was in trouble. I was preparing.
Did you talk to the police?
No.
At no point you talked to investigators?
No.
Okay. All right, I want to go back. We've talked before, and I'm not going to rehash the whole thing, but there's a few things I just want to bring up about the circumstance because some of this stuff has gotten a little bit hazy through the process. Talk to me, remind me about the first time you had interaction with someone from Louisville. Was it Andre McGee?
Yes.
And how did that happen?
Like I said, I knew a guy that worked at a barbershop, and he was cutting hair for a few players. And he asked me if I was interested in doing some shows. I said yes. He said it was for UofL basketball team. I said yes, and then the first party is when I met Andre.
And so you did the show through the guy at the barbershop and then met Andre.
Well, I met Andre had to go. He obviously had to go through Andre.
Okay.
Yeah, because I met Andre immediately when I got there.
Now, and then Andre became your point of contact through all of it?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anyone else from Louisville besides Andre McGee that you communicated with? I mean, besides the players when you were there, but was there anybody about setting it up, paying for it? Was there anyone besides Andre McGee that you had communication with?
I had communications with Coach Mike, and
it's never come out who that is. Do you not know who it is?
No, I just know that they showed me a million pictures and they narrowed it down to who they thought it was.
Can you tell me who they thought it was?
I don't remember the guy's name. They just told me to point out a picture of a guy that
was he a white guy?
He was, they showed me a picture of a few white guys, and then they showed me pictures of a black guy that brought money out to me when Andre was in Kansas.
Okay, so there was an African American who brought money to you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who that was?
I pointed out a picture. I don't remember
You don't know
his name.
But Coach Mike was a white guy.
Yes, he was. He was definitely
So
white.
to you, there would be at least 3 people who knew something about it that you had communication with.
Right, correct.
Okay. Now, there were a lot of individual stories that kind of came out during the thing, some of which really, I think, people were surprised to read, including there was a story about a 16-year-old recruit who a woman was with him. He came out and said, "I don't want to do this," and Andre said, "Go back." Did you know about that story before it came out?
No, it was so much that happened. So much that happened. No one ever said rape. No one ever said no. But it was just times that you could just look at someone's face and they would just look like maybe it was probably a little too much. Wasn't expecting it. Shocked.
Yeah.
But
Did
never
that make
know.
you feel bad at all?
It was a few encounters that I had, with UofL that I felt a little.
Bad because of the kid,
Because of the kid.
but it didn't make you not do it. Meaning, like you didn't was there any that you stopped because you felt bad about it?
Well, no, I think that more so that it was not just bad because of sexual activities or because of parties. Because of, strippers. I think it was pretty much somewhat bad because of the alcohol that was given and the amount of alcohol and some of the other things that were given.
Did the coaches give the players alcohol, or do you know?
Yeah, it was bars. It was a bar setup.
It was a bar set up inside the dorm?
Right.
Okay. Describe to me, for the people watching, what a night in the UofL dorm was like. I mean, we hear parties, but I'm not somebody who's at these parties. So give me an idea of what a night at the UofL dorm back then was like.
It was music, it was fun, it was girls, guys, players, turn up. It was a party.
So music playing, is everybody's dorm rooms open?
Everybody's dorm rooms open.
Is there, for lack of a better term, is there public sex being had?
What do you mean by public
Out in
sex?
front of everybody?
No. None
Okay,
of that.
so it's just strippers.
Andre chose a room for everybody. Sometimes he would go tell somebody, get out of the room, get out of your room, get up, get out, walk the hall.
Wait a minute, he would walk into somebody's dorm room and tell them to get out of their own room?
Mm-hmm. Get out of the room, and we need this room. There
Really?
were empty rooms, and he would choose those rooms. Some rooms didn't have beds, some rooms didn't, couldn't accommodate
So
what
this
he
would be
wanted.
the whole floor of a dorm.
Right,
Would it be really loud?
really loud. His door was open, and he had this big speaker, music playing, a bar set up. I didn't allow my girls to drink. I didn't drink. We didn't do that, but of course, he had the bar set up for him and the players, and
So it would be a whole floor of a dorm.
a whole floor.
And that's probably why you say there's no way that anybody
Could not have known.
could not have known.
Right.
There's been a lot of talk about the players, who it was, et cetera. The NCAA said 15 recruits, 3 players that they deemed to have received illegal benefits. Does that sound correct to you? Does it sound low? Does it sound high? What about those numbers?
Yeah, about correct.
Now, but you had said to me at one point that basically it was almost all the team. The NCAA only said 3.
3 of the players?
Yes.
See, I don't know if they came in as, some as recruits because you've had a few. You had Terry Rozier, you've had Kevin Ware, you've had Shane Bohannon, you had Montrezl Harrell, you've had Russ Smith, it was so many coming and going that, it was coming in recruits, it was coming players, it was just so many that it was hard to keep track of all of them.
Russ Smith said something, I think, in a letter to the Courier Journal where he said, look, we always had women in parties. How are we supposed to know what was going on? Do you believe that? I mean, do you think the players knew what was happening? I mean, obviously they knew you were there, but did the players know that this was set up by the coaches, et cetera?
Of course, they would always come in Andre's room. Cal Carrick, they would always come in Andre's room, fix a drink, and look at the dancers, laugh, joke, and then leave out. They knew. Everybody that participated in that, everyone that was basically, I can't say everyone because I don't want to get, people that didn't have anything to do with it in trouble, but the majority knew what was going on.
And when these things would happen, they're in this dorm, and part of the argument's been well, you can't know everything that happens in the dorm. Do you think it would be possible for someone to live in that dorm and not have known what was happening?
No, not at all.
Would that include coaches or whoever else?
That was for anyone that was in that dorm. Girls went up to the top floor, from the bottom floor to the top floor. There's a theater. There's a room where they cook, they eat.
Did you all go to all those places?
All those places. He gave me a tour of all the place, of the whole place.
How did you get into the dorms? That's kind of been a point of contention.
They let me in.
Who's they?
Andre let me in. One guy that I thought, and if I was mistaken and I was wrong, then I truly apologize. I thought it was, I can't think of his name.
Well, if you don't know if it is, then don't mention his name.
Okay, but yeah, it was a guy. Else. One guy let us in on the side, and then from there out, Andre let us in.
So mostly it was Andre?
Mostly Andre.
Now, there was the security tapes mysteriously kind of disappeared.
And the security guard was asleep for 4 years.
Do you believe that?
I talked to the security guard. He saw us, he talked to us, he laughed, he joked with us, he saw us walk in, walk out, he saw it all. Andre would because Andre is a funny guy. So Andre would crack jokes on the way in and on the way out. I mean, sometimes they would come in stripper attire, sometimes they would come in regular clothes. So, you know.
When Andre asked you to come over for these parties, what did he ask you? Like, what's he saying? Bring X amount of women, bring this. What's he say to you?
He would tell me it's party time. We need the girls, we got recruits. We need to get it popping. So basically, it was time to turn up.
It's time to turn up.
Now,
you said to me at some point that while this was going on, you guys felt something like you were almost part of the team or something. Did you all ever go to games or anything like that?
Yes, we went to games.
And whose tickets would you use for the games?
Andre would give us tickets out of an envelope.
Just out of curiosity, like where were the tickets? Were these good tickets? Like were you close to the bench? Or
I was on the floor.
You'd be on the floor?
I was on the floor, right behind the commentators.
Right behind the commentary. And those are UofL staff tickets, I would assume?
I don't know whose tickets they were. I just know that he would, on times that he was like, I can't pay you. How about these tickets? I knew so many people that wanted tickets. You know, I was all about pay me my money.
Yeah.
But it was, okay, I know people who want to, go to the games. I know dancers that want to go to the games. So, yeah, I cop out this time for a few tickets. And he would go in the envelope and he would be like, these are the best seats, best tickets, best games.
And they were good seats?
Yeah, best games, yeah.
Okay. So this goes on for the course of how much time? And then I think what gets hazy a little bit is he leaves. Mm-hmm. When he leaves, did you think it was over at that point?
No, because I hadn't heard from him for a while. Uh-huh. And then I just get this phone call, and every time he would call, it would pop up McGee, and I knew he needs something. And that's when he told me about Jaquan Lyle.
Jaquan Lyle. And was that with Blakeney or that was Lyle?
That was with Jaquan Blakeney.
Jaquan and Blakeney, okay. And that was when you communicated with somebody else about money, right? And that was the guy you said came outside.
Came out, uh-huh.
And I believe that was an African-American with the Williams guy that they said,
right.
Correct? I think. Now, at some point I asked you, you said that when it had stopped for a while, why do you think it stopped?
Andre was gone.
Yeah, but you said they made you mad or something, am I right?
They didn't really make me mad. I mean, it was what it was with me. So for me to be mad and feel like, oh, it's time to tell, that was not it. They didn't make me mad. I'm going to get you what I can get you. I've given you the best. I've brought you girls from everywhere, every nationality that you could think of. So to call me and to put stipulations on what you need me to bring down.
Well, what stipulations?
I mean, because I said it last time and I got in trouble by you for saying it. They were asking.
Well, you don't have to use that one phrase, but you would say, like you said, he wanted specific races or ethnicities, right?
White girl, long hair, big behind, big breasts. This girl had to do this girl had to do that. And for the amount that I asked for what he wanted, he said that it better go to the ceiling.
Okay, I remember that phrase. All right, so now, at some point you stop hearing from him. Tell me why you decided to come forward with this. Because I've had a lot of people ask me, look, I've had Kentucky fans say to me, I believe her. But man, why would you turn on somebody that you said you still like Andre, right?
Yeah, Andre was not my problem.
So why did you decide to do this?
Because it's my right as a citizen, for one, to be able to tell my story. Mm-hmm. Two, I told my story because I felt like it was time to tell. It was just, I can't say that it was not for money, because I'm not going to lie. It was for money.
When you say it was for money, did someone approach you? Like, how did it get out? How did someone
I've heard it all. I've heard the mob came and got me, made me tell my story.
But what's the truth?
The truth was that someone told me, a few people sat me down and was like, you need to tell the story. Tell the story about UofL and what's going on. Shed light.
A few people. What do you mean a few people?
A few people that I knew, close
friends.
people. Yes.
Okay.
That was like, you need to shed light on what's going on.
And so what did you do first? Who did you go to first?
I went to the NCAA. Isn't it amazing?
So the first thing you did is you went to the NCAA. Now
Yes.
tell me how that goes.
I called the NCAA and I spoke with a guy. The guy appeared to be a white guy. And, I got caught a lot of slack from that. How do I know the difference between a black guy and a white guy? Of course, we speak differently to me. And I told him about what was going on, and he was like, I can't take that story. We don't want to hear that. So,
So did you go up there?
No, I called.
You called?
I called. And he
Okay.
hung up the first time. And then I called back. And he said that, we cannot take the story. And he hung up again. And I left it at that. And I called a publishing company. And then that's when.
So did you just randomly call a publishing company?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
And how did you know who to call?
I didn't want a publishing company in Louisville. I wanted to go outside of Louisville because I didn't want anyone who knew Rick, had any dealings with Rick, who played golf with Rick. I didn't want anybody of that nature. So I just went to a publishing company outside, and I chose Indianapolis.
Okay. Now, what did they promise you anything? I mean, was there any part, was there some, you went to them, but then what happened?
You'll make me cry. Well, I went to the publishing company and I told them my story. And me and a lady, we spoke for hours and hours about what was going on and the story, what happened. And somewhere along the lines, a little further down the lines after we spoke, she told me who her boss was, Mickey Maurer, and he's pretty big. She told me that I could come in and speak with them. And I went to Indianapolis and I sat down and I talked to Mickey Maurer, and he said, your story is very believable. We believe you. They try to trump me up so many times, but they couldn't find anything to where I was lying about anything. Even from me robbing somebody, that was a lie. But he told me that, if I told this story, if I gave them the chance to print this story, to write this story, that my life would change tremendously. I would not be escorting anymore. My lifestyle would change. It was a lot, and I believed it, and I gave them the story.
So they told you basically you were going to be rich.
My lifestyle would change. I would never escort ever again. I wouldn't even have to think about it.
Has it changed?
I don't have to escort.
Okay.
I don't have to do that.
But has it been what they said it would be?
No, not at all.
Why do you think that is?
I can't say that.
Okay, I understand. I asked you earlier if you had regrets doing it, but do you ever think that you sort of didn't realize, did you realize that this was going to be what it was?
No, not at all.
What did you think was going to happen?
I didn't think the impact was going to be this big.
You did not?
No.
So it looks like they may have to take down the national championship banner. Did you think that was going to happen?
I didn't even think about that banner.
You didn't care about that?
But that doesn't have anything to do with me, because they knew the consequences going into it. They knew what could happen. I don't know anything about the NCAA and the rules and any of that.
You didn't even know did you even know if it was against the rules?
I didn't even know.
So when Louisville fans say, well, she's a Kentucky fan and she wanted to blah, 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 is there any truth to that? Did you care? Were you a Kentucky fan?
No. I'm not anybody's fan.
You were just
I'm not a fan of anyone. Yeah, I'm just a person.
So you weren't doing this to try to get UofL in trouble?
No, not at all.
Now, there are people who say, though, look, when you engage in this kind of stuff, everybody knows they're kind of operating below the law. Mm-hmm. Have people sort of accused you of being a snitch at all?
Oh, every day. Every day I'm a snitch. But this is the thing. I'm a snitch, but no one even cares what happened to those recruits, Nobody cares. Not one parent. At least, for people who say I prostituted my kids, which never happened, they say I prostituted my kids. At least I knew where my kids were, what they were doing. I mean, for the parents who didn't know what their kids were doing and left their kids in the care of UofL, nobody came forward and said, did this happen? This happened to my child on your watch? No, it was just basically, they say closed mouths don't get fed. Well, this time closed mouths get fed.
I believe you said, weren't there a couple of recruits' fathers that were part of it?
Yes, so many. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Their fathers would be part of the whole thing too?
Yes.
Now, again, maybe I'm just naive, but during it all, you're now saying, I think you make a valid point, the parents weren't watching over, but did you feel guilty at all? While this was going on, not with the grown-ups, they're grown-ups, but with those dudes that were recruits?
Well, I was told that when I would ask, are they legal? I mean, because you would see some of them that look kind of young, but Andre was like, they're grown, they're fine, they're okay. You don't worry about that part. Let me take care of that. But they're fine. They're big boys. They're grown. So that was my standpoint. That's where I stood. I left it alone after that.
Now, a lot of stuff's come out, a lot of details. Are there any details of what happened that either in your interview with me before, through the NCAA, that have not come out that you think people should know?
No, basically everything that everybody needs to know is out there. There's really nothing new that has not been told that no one knows. Everybody knows everything.
Do you think, I got to ask you this, do you think Rick Pitino knew?
I will say it again. Yes, I do believe Rick knew.
Do you feel nervous at all about sort of saying that? I always sense when I ask you about Rick, a hesitance.
Yes, because people are making it out to say that it's about me and Rick. It's not about me and Rick. It's not at all about me and Rick. I don't have a beef with Rick. I don't have a problem with Rick. I never wanted to sleep with Rick. Never wanted anything about Rick. I asked about Rick one time in 4 years. So my beef is not with Rick. My problem is not with Rick at all. Do I clap? Do I applaud on his takedown, his come down, or the banner, or any of that? I don't applaud on any of that. It was a story, and I told it, and now they go from there.
Have you heard from Andre McGee since all this happened?
No, I probably won't hear from Andre or Scott Cox.
Do you? I mean, he's basically been in hiding for all these years. You have any sympathy to Andre?
Well, Andre was a good guy, and I will not say anything different. He was a very good guy, very outgoing, very outspoken. He was fun. Every day was a turn up for Andre. There was nothing that could really bring him down except for when he was going in debt and he felt like there was more money being dished out than what he has. Do
you think you think he paid for all this, or was somebody giving him money?
Andre he couldn't pay his car payment.
So in your mind, there's no way all this money came from Andre.
No way.
When you say he couldn't pay his car payment, you knew him, and he was not a dude with a lot of money.
I knew Andre. I talked to Andre all the time.
Did he ever tell you where the money came from?
No, he would just send someone out at 10, 11 o'clock at night, and they would come back with a band of money, with the band around it.
But it wasn't his money.
Sometimes it would probably be his money if he went in his pocket. Then sometimes it would come with bands.
So when it comes in bands, it's hard to think that would be his money if it was in bands.
Yeah.
Do you feel like he was the scapegoat, or is the scapegoat?
Yes, I do. Because in the beginning, when all the recruits were coming in and everybody was happy, it was, yay, Andre. But then when, things hit the fan, it's off with his head.
So what's next for you? I mean, this is the NCAA, it's in the appeal. This is going to be over soon, whatever the resolution is. What's the next thing for you?
It's a few things that's going on. Right now I'm in school for criminal justice. And there's another book that... All right,
so I heard about that. You're going to do a second book. What's it going to be about? If you've told us everything, what's in the second book?
Well, it's a lot. They asked, is it a tell-all book? I don't want to say that it's a tell-all book, but, it's the life after, repercussions of, what happened through the whole thing.
And then I heard, has someone approached you about a movie?
Yes.
Okay, now I got to ask about this. Who's approached you by a movie?
I've had people from California approach me about a movie. I've had people in Indianapolis approach me about a movie.
I hear California movies are better than Indianapolis movies.
Yeah, I've had locals approach me about movie deals.
You think that'll happen?
Well, we'll see.
Who would you want to play you in a movie?
Let's see, Making Good? No, I'm just...
Now, I hear you have a website, is that right?
Yes, KatinaPowell.com.
Now, did I hear you are selling autographed copies of the book? Is that right?
Yes, autographed copies of the book.
And KatinaPowell.com. Do people buy those?
Right now, the website's just coming up, but...
is it up now?
Yeah, it is up now. So, but they still sell books through IBJ. They sell books through quite a few things.
I'll finish with this. You will forever be known.
Yeah.
You're going to be a name that everybody knows. I mean, KatinaPowell.com. Katina Powell is going to be in the lore of Kentucky sports and Louisville basketball for eternity. What's your feeling about that?
I don't really have a feeling about it.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
All right.